So hello everyone, my name is Radhika Ostasia. Today I am interviewing Adam Elhaj, a friend of mine that we did the same studies at the Van Halarenstein. We studied the rural development and innovation. He was in a few years above me, of course, but still we met each other at school. Adam is a human rights campaigner from Sudan, and he has sought asylum in the Netherlands some years ago. And yeah, he's just been busy in these few years setting up organization in the Netherlands as well as in Uganda, to develop activities for refugees from Sudan. So last year's organization Exceed24 initiated a women's garden in Kiryandongo in Uganda at the refugee settlement. I am involved in this. I'm helping them with their crowdfunding campaign. So today, what are we talking about? We're talking a bit about Exceed24. What is it exactly? What are they doing? And also more in depth about the project in Kiryandongo. So hello, Adam. How are you? Can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you very much, Radinka, for having me. I'm very glad to be here with you and to see you again after a long time. Yes, and thank you as well for giving this opportunity, speaking about Exceed24, the thing that I'm most passionate about. Exceed24 is an idea we started 2 years ago within a program called Make Africa Work. And Make Africa Work is a Dutch government funded program. It was looking to pair up diaspora entrepreneurs with partners in Africa. And we started there. And from that point, I was focusing on Sudan, and especially in neighboring country where still 2.2 million Sudanese living in neighboring country. So that my focus point. And still I'm being here, very lucky person living in the Netherlands, enjoying the citizenship, being a part every day, working with the very nice people in my organization here in Nijmegen, also with some colleague in Arnhem, but still my thinking every day is in my country back home and my people.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit more? So Exceed24 started with this project that was by the Dutch government, as you told just now. But can you tell us a bit more about Exceed24, the company itself? What does it stand for? What is the idea? What do you do with Exceed24?
Exceed24 is an impact startup enterprise. Look at helping small farmers turning their classical farm into agribusiness. That's one step. Second step, providing them with the right tools, with some training, some entrepreneurial training, so that they can get to know how. But those farmers, those small farmers, right now are not able to have the farm input. So Exceed, from its position here in the Netherlands, try to find some people who can support those farmers getting their small farm off the ground. So that's the business model of Exceed, just helping small farmers practicing eco-farming in a good way that contributing to the environment or the environmental issues in a good way.
Okay, that's very good. like vision of the organization. As someone that studied rural development and innovation, I understand it. I try to break it down a little bit more for the people that didn't have our study background. So now we're talking about Exceed24 is there to help farmers, especially like in startup stages. Just for the people here in the Netherlands, we have like a completely different understanding of what a farmer is. Farmers have like big plots of land, and they sell a lot of produce in the Netherlands, but also abroad. And going from that understanding from what a farmer is in the Netherlands, how do we then have to see a farmer in Africa, and especially in relation to women, refugee women in a settlement in Uganda?
Thank you for that question. You see, most of the farming practices in Africa is in small scale, like a small plot of lands, and this farming practice is also carrying out day to day by women, where man contribution is very little. That's in Africa. And in the Netherlands, it's something different. It's dominated by man, and it's in the large scale in comparing with Africa. But the story here also different, because in the agricultural production system, you do have like crops for household consumption, and you do have crops which we call cash crop. So in Africa, most of the cash crop is dominated by men, whether the crops for family consumption is being carried out by a woman. So we need to contribute also more to help women having some cash crops, so that they can enjoy selling it to the market and paying back their children school fees, or even they can satisfy their household consumption. So, and that's why the Women Garden. Women Garden is a garden for women simply, and that's also widely worldwide known. And also in the Netherlands, it's called Moostown Community Garden, where you create a platform, a place where women can enjoy coming together, develop different way of thinking, together, grouping themselves later, so that they can develop something, they can own it, and they can develop it together, and they can make the best out of it.
Okay, and then what is the, let's say, on the grounds in Uganda, like, for us to have a bit more understanding, what is exactly the role of Exceed24 when it comes to giving them that training on the ground, and maybe facilitating some of the activities? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Exactly. We are intending to provide capacity building, let's put it like that, widely. And then if we want to break it down, it's like a vocational training in how, because there are some problems associating with this place, Kiryandongo, and in Africa in general. But let's talk about Kiryandongo. The soil is not so good. The soil is very exhausted because of non-environmental way of practicing agriculture. The people are using huge pesticides. People are used, for example, weed masters, and so that the soil organic matter is totally gone. So, in the first step, we need to improve the soil. And yes, at that point, we are working with Fairchild. We are working with also a member of Fairchild in Uganda to provide training that help this woman improve the soil. So we can talk about that later, but this one of the things. Second, we're also providing training, small training that help those women thinking broadly, market-oriented way of thinking. If you want to call it entrepreneurial skills, that's also okay, but in the way that is helping those women to get the concept of know-how. One more thing, also that's way of training that we are provide, and the facilitation that we are doing, Exceed24 doing, is to link people from the Netherlands, because also it is a personal initiative where I look forward to mobilize my network so that they can contribute, so can be a part of that project, so that they can make direct donation. So Exceed's playing that facilitation role as well.
These women are responsible for growing food for the household, and then that Exceed24 wants to empower them by giving them just a nudge, a bit more in terms of them also letting them also sell cash crops and going to the market and selling this. Can you tell us a bit more about why is it important for these women to generate their own income?
So if you look at the women's situation in the Kiryandongo refugee settlement, in comparing with men, women position is less good than men. And that's because of the burden that on their shoulders. They're carrying out the day-to-day work, they're taking care of children, they're also working hard to others or in the farm. And by helping them, you help the whole family. And for example, if you help them by providing them some agricultural input or equipments, you help them being able to practice farming. And the thing here is those refugees depend totally on the food aid that provided by WFP within the camp. But last 3 years, that food aid goes down to 60%. So each household within the camp get only 60% of the family need. And here is the thing, those women at the same time need to make the 40% to their families, but they don't have equipment, they don't have money, there is no fund available to help them buy seeds or buy some equipment, or also have large lands or make the soil improved. And so that we are from the Exceed position, we locate ourselves here to fill that gap, to provide those women with equipment, give them the agricultural input in terms of equipment, in terms of fertilizer, organic fertilizer in this case. So we are positioning ourselves to help them in that sense.
This and now I'm curious, because we're talking about the women's garden, and of course you have a team in Uganda, and I've noticed that most of the team is also women. Is this a conscious decision by Exceed24 to do this?
That's not coincidentally. It is conscious that Exceeds want to focus on helping women. Helping women is lifting up the entire family. Second, also we are providing opportunities, work opportunities for other refugee women like Dorcas, like Teresa, like Monica, also to be part of the project so that they can be financially independent.
It's an interesting concept, because it's kind of multi-layer in the sense that it's not only the women that are, let's say, starting an agribusiness, getting financial independent, but you're furthering it and having them being involved in the team, running the project in a sense themselves. And I can see how that can further empower them to grow. So aside from these women that are involved in the local team, do you have any other local organizations or team members that are involved in this project?
Yes, we do have like so now we are busy working with this work for 2 years, and within those 2 years we started by field assessment. We identify the stakeholders, also the target group, and etc. So we come up with working with an organization called Young Adult Empowerment, and that's now they are part of the project. And also we are working with some local organization like the Co2 organization that help us to select the 20 women. And of course, on the top of that, we are working together with the OPM, so the Office of Prime Minister, who basically facilitating the land and the paper and the permission and all those things. So those are the broadly stakeholders. We are looking as well to work broadly with more local society, the Ugandan people, and that's in terms of national. Internationally, we are working closely with Fairchild. Fairchild provide the concept of Carbon2Soil, and I may elaborate more about that later.
I am interested to know a bit more about this Carbon2Soil concept, because this is what the women are using on the ground.
Exactly. Yes, we have started like the very beginning. We started with carbon to soil concept, and then carbon to soil concept is a concept provided by Fairchild. Fairchild is a cooperative company located in the Netherlands. We are working close with them to develop a concept that help those small farmers practicing eco-farming, and at the same time improving the environment, for example. And the thing here is that those farmers, by practicing farming in such manner so that they can capture CO2 that emitted by some companies in the West in general, or in this case in the Netherlands, so that those companies can pay for these farmers capturing their CO2. So that's the concept of Fairchild. We are in the very beginning trying out this concept by providing the woman garden, where like as you have just said, like 20 women practicing it. We are thinking about the next step, like also having some more woman gardening, but eventually, hopefully next year, we will develop the land to extend it to 200 hectares, where more refugee women can also be a part of the project.
You just mentioned something very interesting, that these women are now going to capture the CO2 that is being put out in the West. Can you explain a bit more in practical terms? How does this happen?
You see now, the way most of small farmers practicing or cultivating farming is not that environmental farming. There's a lot of non-eco farming practices being used. In the first place, we want to overcome that problem by providing new approach, new farming approach. You can call it carbon farming, you can call it eco farming, where those farming get rid of non-environmental practices and make use of new approaches. These new approaches basically depend on using the organic materials to help the plant grow instead of the chemical one. Second, depends also on the soil improvement. And in this sense, we are cooperating with a Fairchild member called Jan Willem van Es. He came up with a holistic idea that it's called soil amendment, and he used it and he tried it out in Uganda. So we work together with him to come over and to help those women making the compost. And out of this compost is something called a biochar, so that the soil can be amended, and that's contribute to organic farming. So that's more or less about the concept, practical concept of Carbon2Soil Center.
Okay, so practically this, if imagine I'm someone that knows nothing about this, right? So the organic material and the biochar is somehow putting back the CO2 into the ground. Do I sum it up correctly in this way?
That's true. That's just part of the holistic concept. It consists. It also includes planting trees, like in the degraded soil. Also making some shrubs. Try to bring back the biodiversity. So it's a holistic concept, including soil amendment, using some organic materials, planting trees, making agroforestry also around.
Okay, so obviously we're talking about a project that is going on for a few years. So we're talking about agroforestry, as literally developing or your own local forest in a sense. That takes years. So I can imagine this is the end of the first steps, as you mentioned before also. And with these first steps, you started raising donations to put out the initial phase of this project. How is it going?
Yes, for the crowdfunding, for the fundraising, we have just started a few weeks before Christmas. It is going actually slowly, but at least we reached the first objective of our goal, so that a woman can start the first season. The first season will started in March, so we can buy some equipment for the first 20 women, so that they can start. That's the first step. The second step, and now we need also to provide training to those women in terms of what they are going to plant, what seed they need, the soil amendment, as I told you. Also, they need to know some information about the market around them. So we need also to provide that training. Third, we need also to expand, because you see, there are some around 50 women registered for this program, but unfortunately we just selected 20, so there are 30 remain. We need also to provide we need also to expand and to include them for the next season. So that's also an issue. And last thing, Exceed24 is also providing some employees to help this program to be facilitated. Also, those employees, refugee employees, we need to find them also some funds so that they can continue their work. So in that sense, we need to make the land ready before March, practically in February. We need to buy some equipment. We need to make the fences, and we need to make the soil amendment. So if you ask me how far you are with the fund right now, it's quite okay, but we still need 10,000 more to make this project real.
So far we've talked about the women's garden, and the plan is to start with initially 20 women as a sort of proof of concept, and then to scale up and add 30 women, I think you mentioned. And what is the plan behind that? So after these initial, let's say 50 women in this year, where is the Women Garden heading to? What is the plan behind this?
The idea behind it, so actually the Fairchild, as I explained, a cooperative company in the Netherlands, together with Exceed24 and Young Adult Empowerment Initiative, together developed a business plan. The concept is coming from Fairchild, Carbon2Soil Center, and the business plan comes from our site, together with Young Adult Empowerment Initiative. And the business plan initially initiated starting with 500 hectares, where we can train 50 refugee women every year to reach this in 3 years. But that's a huge starting. So we said, like, it's better to break it down and at the same time testing the concept on the ground. So Women Garden is a practical idea of the Carbon2Soil Center. And also you could say this is like the first step in the road of Carbon2Soil Center. So we started with the Women Garden, practical idea, achievable. It gives confidence. It shows quick results, and we make sure that this project will work.
So we looked a little bit on the background of Exceed24, this project, the Women's Garden that they initiated, and also what it entails, the importance of it. We looked at the partners, but I'm very curious about your team. Who is the team behind this Women Garden?
Oh, thank you. That's a good one. I would love to start with very ambitious and active team from the ground in Kiryandongo in Uganda. On top of the team are the women, of course. We do have Dorcas Amo. She has a university degree from Daystar University in Kenya. She studied human rights, and she also has experience in doing such projects with women in other women in other refugee camp. We do have like Monica Michael. She is a refugee woman. She lives within the camp. She also has a university degree. She is a trainer. She's taking care of the curriculum and the training. We do have Tracy Amol. She is also working at the back office. She's supporting us with providing the information, informing the women, inform us back from the women. She knows what's going on. And we do have Gatwal Koth. He's a peace builder. He is awarded International Peace Building Award. He is a community figure. He is an inspired source to refugees. He's well known, and he's a big supporter of this project. He's mobilizing his network worldwide to support this project, and we're so happy to have him. He's also the initiator of Young Adult Empowerment Initiative. And finally, we do have Dr. Hashim. He's a PhD agronomy student, and he's an agronomist. He's taking care of the technical part of the garden, dividing the garden, grouping the women, take care of all technical parts. And that is our team in Uganda. In the Netherlands, we have also an active team carrying out and organizing and coordinating the campaign of Women Garden. On top of our team, we do have Radinka Stadia. My colleague, we have had the same study background. She's my university mate. We got to know each other 3 years ago, and now she's leading the campaign. She's doing the communication, following up, and she's also linking people from the Dutch part and the Uganda's part. And beside that, now she's launching her business, Manarak, and I hope she will get her way. We also have Pim Box. Pim is co-founder of Fairchild, and he also co-founder of Impact Leader. We got to know each other also years back, and Pim mobilizing not only his network within the Fairchild, also broadly. He's a big source of support, and he's actively supporting the project, mentioning everywhere as you see, and we are so happy to have him.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like a really strong team, both in Uganda and in the Netherlands. And I can say from my side, it's been nice getting to know everyone and working together to get this initiative off the ground, and just helping these refugee women and their family become more resilient and more involved in agriculture in an economical sense. Right, thank you very much, Adam, for this interview. And yeah, let's get started on this journey. I hope you've enjoyed this in-depth interview with Adam, as we look a little bit more into this initiative. And at the end, I will share how you can support us. I will be showing you a screen and also sharing all of the links in the comment box or description box below. Don't hesitate to contact us. And thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to meet you soon.